Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Well, guess what? Guess what time it is? We are here to update the top 10 LRs. Now, I actually didn't get a chance to do this for Team Universe 7. Because there was just such a quick turnaround from when I actually got a chance to use them a little bit until, oh my god, then all of a sudden data download, we have, Gold and Frieza and 17 are coming as well. I was considering doing a yellow coin LR tier list for Team Universe 7. But then, I used them a lot, and then I used 17 and Gold and Frieza, and I was just like, wow. Okay, sure. We're going to update the overall top 10. Now, we're going to get to the point now where people's feelings are going to start to get hurt. Various people are going to have various agendas for various characters. And, there's going to be complaining, there's going to be bitching, there's going to be, shenanigans, stuff like that are going to start to occur. Because, Dokkan, in 2024, the character designs for most, the designs have been great. And it's just like the status quo for the anniversary LRs this time seems to not really be what we've seen in the past. So we start with number 10, which I would have as Broly. Part 1 Dokkan Fest LR at number 10 by Tanabata. I can't imagine this would have ever been the case ever before. I don't think so. And it's just, here's the thing. Content is just getting harder and harder and harder. Broly and Gogeta, when they came out in January, I thought that their bases were unimpressive. Broly and Gogeta. And, now here we are 6 months later, and 6 months of hard content, including the new fights, and it's like Broly and Gogeta get washed in their base form. They can live by taking 500k damage turn 1. I just, it hurts. It hurts them. It hurts a lot. So, Broly is doing nothing special, essentially. All he is just, moderate defense. I think that might even be true transformed. I still am just off-put by the damage I saw him take from Janemba. 2.1 million super attack Janemba in Red Zone movie boss rush just kind of, stunned me. But I don't know. I just feel like this guy's 10. He just does damage, which, most of the characters on this list can do, but plus do way other bigger things that contribute more heavily towards winning, right? I think a domain update would certainly buff this guy, make him a little bit better and stuff like that, but, for just how kind of, baseline they made him, he doesn't really have a lot of the crazy tools that other characters have, which I think kind of hurts. Next, I would grab LR Bootanks. Now, the same way Broly and Gogeta can get slapped in kind of that first turn, the first wave of difficult content of what I think is the two hardest fights right now. Blue Cow Ken Goku Evolution Blue Vegeta, and then also the Cell Max fight. Bootanks does as well. Make no mistake, Bootanks gets his ass clapped just like they do. The one difference, though, is that Bootanks, he's got 30% dodge right there, alongside all of his other stuff, whereas Broly and Gogeta do not have built-in dodge. So that certainly will help him quite a bit. He's not anything super special until he transforms. He has quite the bag he reaches into. The Seal, which is really good for the Cell Max fight, again, I would have that ranked as the number 2 hardest fight. So the fact that Buhan just ends the Cell Max fight on turn 4 when he transforms is pretty meaningful to me. He also, of course, has attack breaks, healing, a lot of different abilities. Now, I will say this. I could fall a bit out of love with Buhan, depending upon how things move forward. I do think we're on the precipice of the Majin Power Team being not as impressive as it seemed if the content does explode. Because the Majin Power Team, it's like, a lot of those guys could take hits. They'll take massive damage, 400k, 500k. But the difference on the Majin Power Team is you'll heal it all right back. Boop! HP is just back in a flash. But if we get to the point where a lot of those guys can't actually eat the hits and just die in one shot, then the Majin Power Team falls off. So, I'm not super sure. I feel comfortable with this guy right here. Both Broly and Buhan can be annihilated in both Cell Max and Blue Cow Ken Evolution Blue Vegeta. Both can perform very well, obviously, in the deep ends of those fights as well. Okay. And then we get to Gogeta. Now, here's where we can open it up with the new characters as well. So, I thought long and hard about this. I almost do wonder if I should have. I'm having trouble finding them. I have too many characters on the list again. I almost do wonder if I should put Gogeta in front of them. But it comes down to something very simple, right? For months now, I've told you guys what? It is heavily, seemingly overlooked by a lot of the community, how important it is to be dominant turn 1. I think a lot of people who underestimate EGL, Angel, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, lost sight of that fact as well. That being dominant defensively turn 1 is just huge. It matters so much with the way a lot of these fights are structured. And as shit gets harder, I mean, the bosses are just doing more damage. They're getting nastier. They're getting scarier. When you get to turn 6 with this guy with best RNG, turn 6 with best RNG, what this guy does on turn 6, not a lot of characters can emulate it. The only guy who's probably as impressive as this guy on turn 6 and beyond is like Tech UI Goku. That's it. This guy's active skill turn, when you pop this and he has 100% dodging, and I mean, this attack, he hits the boss for 20 million crit, and then he has 100% dodging, and he has 100% crit, and he nullifies Ki Blast super attacks, will counter that if they super him, and he's Rainbow Orb changing, and he's doing all this, is really crazy. But, again, what did I say? That's best RNG turn 6. The first couple of turns, he's just only okay. This guy doesn't have a huge impact, a huge grip on the fight at the start of the fight. He doesn't. The optimal way to use this guy, the smart way to use this guy, you get him and you immediately float him off. He's not there to anchor slot 1 to help you like some of the other big guns, maybe Evolution Blue Vegeta, Cell Max, UI Goku, Beast can. And then he comes back and he's dodge or die. Well, I mean, in slot 1. I mean, you could certainly run Blue Gogeta in slot 2 or slot 3. I mean, he's only going to be dodge or die against super attacks. Normals, unless it's by, Supreme Magnificent Battle, Blue Gogeta are not going to devastate him. But it's just the entirety of the fight happens within those first, 5 turns, basically. In, a lot of these tough fights, besides a Red Zone movie boss rush, the one exception compared to, like, all the others. And it's just like, in those 5 fights, I mean, the characters above this guy just perform way better. Right now, I am skewering way more towards how good are you at the start of the fight. People get seduced by these transformations and these crazy god turns. Not me. Not me. Not me. I'm not deluded by that shit. If you're dead before you get to the god turn, who cares? So, it's like Gogeta's good, and he does have the Team Protector ability, and he's got all that, but it just takes so long to get there, and it's like these two just show up, and they're untouchable, man. Slot 2 and slot 3, these two are untouchable. It's crazy. This unit is giving you 2-turn support. The reason I'd have Team Universe 7 above Golden Frieza and 17 is the support. Right? I feel like their hands are a little bit tighter. Their grip is a bit tighter on the outcome of the fight than 17 and Golden Frieza. 17 and Golden Frieza are a, impenetrable wall. But, I mean, the way they're balanced is they're a wall in slot 2 or slot 3. Right? You're not putting them in slot 1. You're not making them the anchor, the point man of the team. They're really crazy. They don't die. But it's slot 2 and slot 3. And then Team Universe 7... it's very similar, but they're also giving the huge support. Also, I don't really care or read in as much into restrictions, I think, as most other people do. The only time I'm really looking at restrictions is like if it's a strong Dokkan Fest leader, like Angel, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I think. Like restrictions for this unit or Cell Max, I just don't really care about. Or LR Ginyu doesn't really matter too much to me. But, like, AGL, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and First Form Frieza, those are restrictions I care about, because those are Dokkan Fest exclusive characters who lead Dokkan Fest exclusive teams. These characters are not meant to be leaders of teams. So, this restriction is pointless. It doesn't matter. It's like, the character is really, really good. So, there's that. So we kind of have this. So there's kind of, I think, 3 tiers to characters right now. There's this. The next tier is this. We have Tech UI, AJL UI, and Evolution Blue Vegeta. Now, I have swapped things around slightly here. I have EJL UI and Evolution Blue Vegeta above Tech UI Goku. You might be wondering, well, why would you do such a thing? Why would you do that? Because if we look at my tier list 9 days ago, I had UI Goku at 3. The difference here is I just Tech UI Goku just dies too much, man. He just dies too much. I'm sorry. Like, it's true. I gotta listen all this, yapping away of, people will say really stupid shit like, oh my god, skill issue, or blah 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 blah, like dumbass shit, or oh my god, he's so dumb. Like, his god, like, transformed his god turn, he triple supers, and like he's got the 60% damage reduction. This guy's tanking like the craziest bosses. He's so impressive. And people will look at this one turn, again, on like turn 7, after he triple supers in a very specific situation, and they'll say, he tanked so well. Well, not really, okay? It's like there's the way the fight can go specifically. Sometimes he can tank these attacks, sometimes he can't. For the most part, you think of it this way. He will eat normals really well if he doesn't dodge, and his dodge is for the super attacks. It is just that simple. Again, his base feels way stronger than Gogeta, Broly, the Gammas, who, by the way, are not on this list. The Gammas suck turn 1. All right, both of the hardest fights in the game will kill the Gammas if they say. Whereas Broly and Gogeta will live by taking 500k, the Gammas are dead instantly. So that kind of, that's why the Gammas would be at, I think, would be 11 for me. I think the Gammas are 11 on this list. But yeah, I mean, this guy. Now keep in mind, when you transform into this guy, I mean, yeah, this is still like the peak of the game currently. I think is turn 1 of this guy with his counters. His domain is crazy. His presence is crazy. But I mean, again, you barely see this guy. And he has a terrible transformation condition. Horrible transformation condition. It's very often that we don't even get the transformation to occur as easily as I'd like. When I'm losing in the new hardest fight in the game, when I decide to bring some of these dodge characters, one of the reasons is because I move too fast and I reach Evolution Blue Vegeta before this guy has a chance to transform, and then we get killed. All right, so this guy's good, but he just dies a little bit too much, and these guys don't die. Evolution Blue Vegeta and UI Goku don't die, really. Vegeta can get caught here and there. UI Goku could fail his dodge. Keep in mind, I was close to putting UI Goku above Vegeta, but, I mean, here's the thing. Like, Vegeta is just going to be very consistent in what he is. Whereas, like, there is, the Blue Kaioken Goku Supreme Magnificent Battle fight where it has dodge canceling turn 1. And Tech UI Goku doesn't do anything about that. Like, AJL UI Goku, you can't run him in that fight. Whereas I could run Vegeta. I think Vegeta, with our knowledge of how dodge works, which is UI Goku has 77% dodge, then he dodges once and he has 84% dodge, then he dodges another time, he has 91% dodge, then a third dodge and he's at 98% dodge. That, to me, does matter. And it goes from, whew, we got a bunch of lucky dodges to, okay, after you get the first 2, of course you're going to dodge. Right? Like, your expectations are different. I do think, like, once we found out how dodge is truly working, it's not foolish to change how you view certain characters. Because in a vacuum, the entire game is still just RNG. If you look at it like, oh my god, thank god we got so lucky with our low dodge chance right there. Phew, it was just good luck. That's all it was. Good luck. But no, it's like their dodge chances are stacking. The character's actually better than we're giving them credit for. I think that applies heavily to UI Goku. UI Goku just doesn't get touched. Now, another reason I was really close to putting UI Goku above Vegeta, I would probably argue again that Vegeta has an easier revive, but I see UI Goku's revive way more often than I see Vegeta's. Getting hit 5 times isn't that bad, but you don't choose where the hits are. And right now, again, as I mentioned, these fights are ending turn 5. Turn 6 I'm not seeing turn 7. And if the boss is spreading their attacks out all over the place, like, you know, that's out of your control. Now, to be fair, so is UI Goku's, right? 77% HP. This is also not something I would call consistent. I would argue Vegeta has a better revive condition than Goku, but I tend to get UI Goku's revive all the time, not Vegeta's. So, I mean, I don't, you know, don't really know what to say there. And then the top two, I mean, Cell Max is 2, and then, yep, sorry guys, I mean, the Beast Riser. All right, here, where's Cell Max? It's just, like, Cell Max is 2, because, again, he's kind of a baby version of Beast Gohan. He does more damage than Beast at the start of the fight, but doesn't have quite as much defense. And then, of course, I mean, Beast, I usually am not really counting, like, leader skills into it, but, I mean, Beast is a Dokkan Festeller with a big leader skill. Cell Max, I mean, Cell Max is the best character on Super Bosses by far, so, like, you'd want to bring a second Cell Max, and then that lower leader skill buff can hurt you rather than, like, double Broly. But, like, it's just, what these two are doing is similar. Beast just obviously at a much better and higher level, but, yeah, this is it. And I do feel here, I want to get it to where it's perfectly lined up, sort of. No, damn it. I feel really good about this 10 here. Here's where we can grab this. This looks good. The only thing I mean, I've seen people say, like, what, Boo above Broly? Oh yeah, dude. Broly, who just sits there, does damage, and tanks okay, and nothing else. I'll take Boo above him. The only thing I could maybe I could be persuaded, it is Gogeta moving in front of 17 and Golden Frieza and Team Universe 7. I think Gogeta is either where he is, at 7, or he's either 8 or he's 6. 8 or 6. One of those two. I think I'm comfortable doing this. Again, Gogeta, once he goes blue and once he gets that active turn, yes, it's super crazy, but it's just so much of the fight, these two are going to be they're just going to be outperforming Gogeta. I'm not really too interested in, oh, theoretically, who's the best? Theoretically, what's the best God turn? Theoretically, how good are they on turn 57? I'm not really caring so much about that. I'm caring about what I'm seeing in front of me. What is actually happening when we go into these tough fights with these teams? What's happening? And based on what I'm seeing, this is what I would kind of like put on paper right here. Again, the one thing maybe I'll listen to what people are saying is Gogeta versus these two. I think Gogeta is either behind these two or in front of these two. One of those two. But, like, they're just so much better than Gogeta at the start of the fight, man. Which is what matters right now. These fights aren't that long. I mean, keep in mind, we could get a new King hardest fight in the game by far that's super long, and then maybe I can, you know, reevaluate things. But, I mean, it's the landscape of the tough fights. You know, the two hardest fights are structured very similarly to each other. And, you know, being good right away is what's more important, right? It's just how it goes. And these characters are all doing so much damage and shit, right? So there's that. In terms of going back to this last list, so Orange Piccolo finally falls off, as well as the Gammas. And then I would move Tech UI just behind Evolution Blue Vegeta and AGL UI, because again, these guys don't really die. Like, we've seen a couple of Vegeta deaths. UI Goku's died at least, like, 2 times from me. Like, he's definitely died. I remember Beast Gohan one-shotting him. I know our LR Beast has been killed by Trunks. Recently, he got killed by Red Zone movie boss rush Broly. Although I could have just used the active skill. I was more so just wanting to see what my Broly was doing on the turn. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's like characters can be killed if you're playing weird or for different reasons, stuff like that. But these two just don't really die. And Tech UI Goku is dying repeatedly, man. I mean, it's not... You know, it's like, I get a rotation, it's Tech UI Goku, it's Team Universe 7, it's Golden Frieza and 17, and it's like, alright, well, Tech UI Goku saw 1, he dies, okay, well, I mean, are we making excuses for that, or did he just lose us the run, man? Like, it's like one of the two. I mean, that's why I would also put Tech UI above them, is that these two characters aren't slot 1. They have a nice impact on the fight, but not really necessarily in slot 1. So, let me know what you guys think. Again, I feel very comfortable with this. Feel free to let me know how stupid I am, but don't worry, no matter what you say to me, I love you. Mwah!